And both of them got in, and Ryan and Scott.
Telling you that. Underneath stuff, no. And when you want to know boxing, and you literally want to learn, you want to get that GQ algebra kind of knowledge, then you go to table number 12. What's going on, champ?
You got it, champ. Hey, look, let me tell you, when you want to know boxing, guess right. You come to this table because, let me tell you, some have done it good, but there are a whole lot of them haven't done it better. Me and this man right here, Carl Keith, you know, who's being inducted into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
He has managed more heavyweight champions in the sport of boxing than any other manager in the game, present or past, up to this date. If you don't believe me, check it out.
Aaron says check it out, and you know you better do your research. He does this. Congratulations, champ.
Thank you so much.
Hey, what an honor. What has it synced in? Has it synced in yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But it's working on me though. It's starting. I'm starting to feel the vibe. I am very proud to be here, man. Very, very proud.
You know, all the sweat, blood, and tears, all the sacrifice. Oh, Aaron, you know better, just like anyone else that it all comes down to.
There's not, it don't get no better when you see a friend, a dear friend, through all the trials and tribulations that we went through with different fighters. The list, as we say it, is long, fine, and distinguished. From bantamweight, all in between up to heavyweight, that he's managed. And many nights we stayed on the phone, talking, arguing, fussing, fighting. We got it done. We got it done a lot. And a lot of these, it changed a lot of people's lives and a lot of families' lives that now that they're older and realize what they've been through, what they experienced, they're very, very thankful. You know, guys that he's managed, I've trained that are now themselves going to the Hall of Fame. I tell you, like Julian Jackson, Azuma Nelson, Mike Tyson, in the international. And when you see it, and on this night, when he's going in, Salamambi is going in, one of his first champions, the first. And Williams, Arthur Williams.
And this is a what year, champ? What year we're talking about?
What year? And that Mambi won the title in 1980. Okay. And I think Arthur Williams was in the 90s. King Arthur.
How you doing, boss man? We got another gentleman here. For the fans, John, he runs Don King Production. He lives at the class of 2023. Show that ring. Always supportive. And listen, I'm not trying to get cookie points here because I don't know. But this is a family. It speaks so much, Aaron. And you're a good storyteller when it comes to that. When you're the legend Ali and everything. When people contribute in all different angles, no matter the distance or whatever, the storm, they'll come strong.
Oh yeah, well, you just putting the camera on John Muccione. A lot of camera work and the big fights, the film editing, and doing replays and stuff that you've seen on like King Vision, HBO, Showtime. John Muccione did a lot of that editing for Don King through the years.
Wow.
And he organized Don King's extensive library of all of those great fights that he had from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and up to date now. Don did that.
And I remember Don King he probably had a pay-per-view every other month.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And then you had you had HBO also, which is part of
He's did over 700 world championship fights.
I don't think.
That's a great defeat.
This is where I hear you going.
And when you see Carl going in,
No, I don't want to hear it.
you know what I
I don't want to
mean?
hear it.
Here in Florida,
Here we go.
where he resides now. And they forget, not only did Don King have an
Encyclopedia.
office in Florida, but Carl's mother had a training
Here's
camp
the pages you can see.
in Fort Pierce, Florida.
I got to see what they have.
As Carl King says, Don King didn't do it by himself. His mother was a great role. Talk about that training camp in Fort Pierce that your mother had.
Oh man, listen, that was the second camp that we did. It was one.
How you doing, man?
We wanted to do one in Florida
All right.
because so many guys were basically complaining about the weather in Northeast Ohio. So we got a spot in Fort Pierce. It was a fabulous joint. All in one level, 3 different buildings. And all this was the thought process, ideas, if you will, from my mother, Henrietta. God rest her soul. My father, fortunately, he listened to her, and that's what made all this possible. So, you know, I'd have to say we've had 2 of the finest training facilities in American history. The one in Ohio, the original training facility that we had, established in 1974, I think is the family's pride and joy, at least my personal pride and joy. And at some point, it too will be recognized as some type of landmark in the state of Ohio. So, you know, like the same in the one in Fort Pierce came about in the early part of the 2000s, like 99, 2000, in that time frame. And we had issues, the hurricanes of 04, Gene, it was Francis, Gene, Ivan, and what was the other one? It was
I think it was we had like 3 or 4, one after the other. I remember, we don't forget that year. Yeah, we had one after the other.
Yeah, well, at that time, the Navy SEALs, where the training camp was located, was right down on the bottom of the hill, right on the beach.
was the other one.
So, you know, it was one of the finest. One thing, she gave us the opportunity for the finest meals, because when you're training hard, you got to have proper nutrition. She gave us the finest facilities, things like that to get ready, so guys wouldn't have to worry about eating. And she would call the chef sometimes and tell him to send them some food. Where she was at up in Ohio was just down the road, their estate. And she used to eat that food, Mrs. King. And if it wasn't right, the chef would catch it, and she'd come down to the camp, go sit in the camp, in the kitchen, tell the chef to come here, whatever they were giving the fighters, she would eat it.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
No, it was a family affair for real.
yeah. And she said, I'm not going to give these fighters nothing that I wouldn't eat myself. And she ate it too. She would eat it, test it, and make sure it was all right. And all she said was, "Bring me back them titles, that champion." And boy, let me tell you, at one time at the camp, every fighter from every weight division, there was a champion in every weight division at the camp. And one day we had all the champions just bring the belts and throw it on the table while everybody was there. It was something, man. When you got a
how many guys? You guys go by weight, age, or how you guys doing? Everything was by weight. How much different?
Yeah, well, you got, when you had Zuma Nelson, Julian Jackson, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Well, the McCollum was still out there.
You know, they were training there, but there was an era before them. You know, Tim Witherspoon, Michael Dokes probably was the main one that really benefited in the early years of the growth of that camp. Even though Larry Holmes trained there and Ernie Shavers, but Michael Dokes, man, when he lit that place up, Caesar's Palace.
I mean, but I guess those are the times, like right before Hagler, or we're talking about Hagler times, the Rand time.
When he came out and smoked Mike Weaver, man.
Yeah, okay.
Tony Kerr, oh man.
What about? Hey, tell me a little bit about Muhammad Quaid. Remember, he was ballsy. Quaid, yeah.
Well, he came out of prison.
Okay.
Muhammad was promoting fights in Broadway State Prison with James Scott. He put those fights on TV, Murad did. And while we was some of the benefit from Camden, New Jersey.
That's what I'm saying. I remember.
Yeah, Dwight Braxton. Hey, he was a buzzsaw.
He was a bulldozer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
He was a bulldozer.
Yeah.
There was another heavyweight, Bone Crusher Smith.
Bone Crusher. Carl Manning's Bone Crusher. Carl Manning's Bone Crusher too.
Bone Crusher, yeah.
He sure did.
Hey, fighting like
five-fold from the Bone Crusher. That's what.
Hart. There was no lie. This man had heart, huh?
Oh, he could punch like
Hart.
a son of a go, yeah.
He had power, champ.
Yes, he did. He had. That's what he was most known for, was his power. He could sit in front of him.